That's about it. Welcome to Derry and the first episode that truly has left me rattled, and I'm just thinking, Andy Muschietti, what the hell are you doing? Because I really loved one of the characters and now they're gone. But let's talk about it. This is the new show that is chronicling the life of Derry in 1962, 2 decades before it, chapter 1, which came out in 2019, by the way. This episode starts off with Maddie Clements becoming the first one to kick the bucket. This kid ultimately hitches a ride. Maddie ultimately is trying to escape Derry due to not having the best home life and is then taken by a family. This is a perfect looking family. They're like a nuclear family, and what's so interesting about that is that the show itself, taking place in the 60s, will be tackling issues such as racism as well as the fear of nuclear bombs. And this is a nuclear family, which is a big symbol during this time. The family, however, are not the perfect nuclear family and ultimately kill Maddie. And the way this happens is just insanity in the car ride that they are having. Things start to really seem kind of weird, and then the wife who is pregnant gets hit by Maddie as he is trying to escape, and the baby comes out. But the baby is not a normal baby. It is a mutant baby with wings killing Maddie. Now, the rest of Maddie's quote-unquote friends, because Maddie didn't really have a close relationship with many kids, he started to form one though, however, with the duo of Teddy and Phil, who ultimately were kind of bribed to go to his birthday party at a point, and also with Lily, a young girl who is still reeling from the fact that her father died during a accident at the pickle factory where he worked, and it seems that kids are mocking her for these. So these kids are ruthless that they're mocking a girl whose father died in a factory that had pickles. Now, Lily, Teddy, and Phil would ultimately be what you call outcasts here, but Maddie was more of an outcast than they were, so they truly feel that Maddie's death may have been their fault, and they're trying to sort of deal with all of these things. Lily, however, one night hears Maddie calling from her from the sewers as she is about to start a bath, and she can hear him down the drain, and he says to please find him. She relays this back to Teddy and Phil, who are kind of skeptical about it. That is until that night Teddy eventually has a talking lampshade come at him, and this is because his father tells him about how Jewish prisoners were taken and skinned and their skin turned into lampshades. And this, of course, is something that Teddy goes to sleep with, but this in fact is reality. Now Teddy is being haunted by this presence of it, and he tells this to Phil and Lily, who of course believe him, and they decide to go and try and find out what happened to Maddie. They find some newspaper clippings that detail that he was at the Capitol Theater that night, and they go to find the daughter of the owner, who is Ronnie, who of course was helping Maddie that night before he went missing so he wouldn't be found by the usher. They bring along Phil's little sister Susie because they couldn't find a babysitter, and ultimately end up going back to the theater to watch the movie The Music Man, because that is the song that Maddie was singing from the drain. As they are watching this movie, we see that Maddie appears trapped in the film, as well as the rest of the nuclear family. And things start to take a turn when the kids call out for Maddie, who says they are the reason that he is now dead. And we see he is holding mutant baby in his hands and unleashes mutant babies onto the kids in the theater. And the mutant baby, of course, is going to be the size of the screen. So he's like 6 foot tall. The baby then goes forth and attacks and kills some of the kids. Only Lily and Ronnie are left alive. And I was just like, what the hell just happened here? I did not expect Phil, Teddy, and Susie to die already. Phil was actually my favorite character at the moment. So I'm a little bit let down that Phil is now gone. But this show just really goes to show that it is going to do whatever it wants to do. And nobody is safe. Fuchs, who is the writer of episode 1, says, we wanted audience to feel like anything's possible. No one is safe. You can care about a character and then they'll be taken from you. We also get an introduction to another person that is going to be a major factor in the story, and that is Major Leroy Hanland. And of course, this family does welcome at one point in the future Mike, who of course is Mike from It Chapter 1. Hanland here is a Korean war vet who is now restationed to Derry alongside his family, and his family hasn't been introduced next, but they are definitely an integral part of the story as we see in the trailers. Not only is Major Leroy Hanland having to deal with the racism here and also moving his family to a different base, we also have Major Leroy Hanland that night get attacked by 3 masked men who are wearing these gas masks. demanding top secret aircraft information from him, threatening to kill him if he doesn't give it to them. However, he is saved by Paulie Russo, who is his friend who came with him, and pretty much we see that things are not going to be that easy for Major Leroy Hanland. Although he is going to Derry and going to live there, it seems that Derry isn't as welcoming as we believe it is, or Mr. Major Leroy Hanland would think it is. Although he isn't going to be at the base anymore, so maybe he might be safe from these gas mask wearing men. Leroy is still going to have to deal with the racism that comes from Derry that we've seen from the trailer already. So I'm pretty worried for Leroy right here. We'll definitely see what happens in the next coming episodes. That's pretty much it for It Welcome to Derry episode 1. It has showcased that anything and everything can happen. 4 kids are dead: Maddie, Phil, Teddy, and Susie. And this show is just ramping up already. We still have 7 episodes to go. The second episode is going to come out early on Halloween. So if you're going to be watching something on Halloween this Friday, there you go. This is definitely getting me excited. I do have theories of where it could go, so stay tuned for that episode tomorrow on the channel. But this was just me recapping the first episode. I was blown away by how much happened in the episode. And for a little bit of a review, I do think that the episode is just okay. I was hoping for more of a knockout like pilot, because I had heard so many things about that opening sequence, but it's just something with the CGI that I just can't get behind, and that's something I've always had a problem with Andy Muschietti and what he does. So hopefully in the next coming episodes it gets into some more interesting territory and not as heavily reliant on the CGI, but we'll see what happens with that. I just will say that I'm definitely feeling for Lily, because she's already getting picked on because of everything that happened with her father and all of that in the pickle factory. And I mean, who's gonna believe her about what happened in the theater right now, that a mutant baby came out? Like, what are they even gonna say happened to all of those kids? Only Ronnie and Lily were there. So I think this is definitely gonna help them to bond together and hopefully be able to work to find the missing children and where they went. And we'll see how Pennywise reacts to all of this. He will be in the series, it's already been stated. They did have a trailer that was showcased after the premiere, and it showcased a lot of crazy shit's about to happen in Derry. Like, the town is going to become a feeding ground for Pennywise. Of course, every so often he comes to feed, but the turtles everywhere. Maddie even gave Lily a turtle pendant. The turtle, of course, is the mascot for duck and cover, which is something they're being taught because of the possibility of nuclear bombing. And turtles, of course, are a big thing in the It universe, as it is the turtle god Madeleine who is the one who opposes his enemy Pennywise in this universe. And that's a whole thing we can definitely discuss if y'all want. I'll probably do a video on the turtle later this week, so stay tuned. So pretty much at the end, we have now realized that Pennywise is out of his slumber and he is about to devour as many kids as he can in Derry. And Maddie was just like the first one. He was the catalyst. Something horrible has to happen to get that fear rising amongst the kids. Maddie's disappearance was that, and I believe now with Teddy and Phil and Susie being killed in that theater, we are about to see Pennywise grow even stronger. Lily is the only one that saw what happened. Ronnie wasn't really able to witness it as best because she was in the projector's booth, but she, of course, is going to believe Lily as she knew who Maddie was and knows that this happened to him was truly a dark, dark thing. So I think that we will see these two characters definitely try and get others on their side. Looks like in the trailer that Major's kids will also be somebody who joined Lily and Ronnie to hopefully bring down Pennywise and uncover what's going on here. And I think Major as well is going to be a tool that the army is using for something connected to Pennywise, because throughout the trailer we see that they tell him that he is being used to uncover something that is hidden, and that could very well be maybe them trying to figure out how to take down Pennywise. I think that's a big thing here, is that maybe this military base, like Phil says, isn't just being used to safeguard them from nuclear bombing, but also for something else. Maybe he's right about the aliens. The army knows about these aliens and they want to get a hold on them. Pennywise could in fact be an alien if you really think about it, a cosmic entity out of this world that's an alien. So we'll see where the show goes in the next coming episodes. Very, very excited to see this. But I thought this was a great episode. It showcases that Lily has been pushed front and center as the one who is going to have to find out what's going on with Pennywise and Derry. I think the show really did a great job at giving us the twist that Teddy and Phil were going to be in the whole season, and then they're not. I really liked Phil's character. I thought he was hilarious, so I'm very saddened that he won't be here anymore. I thought a lot of the horror scenes in here were great, especially the lampshade definitely got to me. I had a huge jump when that happened. I also love the theater scene in this episode because it reminded me a lot of the projector scene in the garage of chapter 1, which is still one of my favorite scenes from any Stephen King adaptation. Really great stuff there. So that's what I mean when Andy Muschietti does certain things. I really enjoy them, but then there's other things he does where I'm just like not really vibing with it. For the most part, it is the CGI present that I'm just not all the way there for. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you thought about this first episode. I thought a lot of it worked. Some of the things I just didn't really vibe with is just the way I think that there's so much exposition happening, and it feels like the show is just trying to spoon feed you this information and not really showcase it, where I think they could definitely make it a lot more convincing and harder hitting if they were to do it that way. But nonetheless, I'm still excited. I'll still be watching the show, and I cannot wait to talk to you every single week about it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Your thoughts and opinions, drop them down below. Are you happy with this first episode, or are you just not vibing with the show just yet and you're going to wait and see how you feel in the coming weeks? Comment it all down below. I definitely think that Phil, Teddy, Maddie, and Susie will be coming back, of course, as Pennywise continues to feed. These kids are probably somewhere, I was going to say the upside down. I'm already thinking of Stranger Things, y'all. But I'm excited to see the show continue and where it ultimately ends. As you know, with each season, they are committed to going more and more back in time until we eventually get to see the origins of it as Pennywise. It is a cosmic entity. Pennywise is just a form it's taking here in Derry. We'll talk more about that when we talk about Madeleine the turtle, who is the only one that can save Derry from Pennywise. But your thoughts and opinions down below. As always, I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.